Chosen one, before anything else, slow your breath for a moment and listen carefully, because this message is not meant to rush you. Christmas did not close a chapter in your life. It opened one. And the reason it may not have felt dramatic or emotionally overwhelming is because what God initiated was deeper than emotion. It was structural. It was internal. It was necessary. Many people expected Christmas to feel like relief. They thought the waiting would end, the heaviness would lift, the answers would arrive wrapped clearly and unmistakably. But God does not always mark beginnings with fireworks. Sometimes He marks them with stillness, because stillness is where alignment happens. And alignment always comes before acceleration. If you've been wondering why things feel quieter instead of louder, calmer instead of celebratory, reflective instead of victorious, it's because you crossed an internal threshold. You didn't feel a rush because you didn't need one. Your spirit recognized the shift even if your emotions lagged behind. That's maturity, that's growth. That's what happens when faith moves from desperation into trust. Christmas was not about what changed around you. It was about what settled within you. You may not have realized it yet, but your inner posture adjusted. You stopped fighting the silence. You stopped forcing joy. You stopped demanding proof. And in that release, God found space to work. There's a reason the breakthrough didn't arrive loudly. Loud breakthroughs often require maintenance. Quiet ones last. God was not interested in impressing you. He was interested in stabilizing you. Because the next season of your life will require calm discernment, not emotional highs. It will require clarity, not chaos. Think about how much you've carried over the last few years. Expectations, disappointments, responsibilities, questions with no immediate answers. You learned how to function while tired. You learned how to keep believing while uncertain. You learned how to stand without applause. And now your soul is no longer impressed by surface-level change. It wants depth, it wants substance. It wants peace that doesn't evaporate under pressure. That's why Christmas didn't feel like an ending. It felt like a pause, a breath, a moment where something clicked into place without explanation. That click was alignment. And alignment always feels subtle because it happens below the surface. You may notice that you're responding differently now, not reacting as quickly, not explaining as much, not chasing closure. That's not emotional numbness. That's emotional regulation. That's strength forming. You're no longer leaking energy into things that cannot carry your future. This is important because God does not release breakthrough into instability. He prepares the container first. And you, chosen one, are being prepared. Christmas marked the moment your spirit stopped negotiating with the process. You may not have said it out loud, but internally, you agreed to trust without constant reassurance. You agreed to move forward without seeing the full map. You agreed to let God work quietly rather than demand spectacle. That agreement mattered. Breakthroughs don't always start with visible change. They start with inner consent. And once consent is given, movement begins, even if you can't track it yet. You might feel like nothing is happening because nothing dramatic happened on the outside. But on the inside, fear loosened its grip. Comparison lost some of its power. Old triggers don't land as deeply. Old wounds don't bleed the same way. You still feel, but you're not consumed. That's authority developing. Christmas was not meant to validate you. It was meant to anchor you. And anchors don't move, they hold. They keep you steady while the current shifts around you. God anchored you so you wouldn't be swept away by impatience or discouragement in the next phase. If you're honest, you've been sensing that something is coming, but you can't name it yet. There's anticipation without anxiety, expectation without urgency. That's because your spirit is no longer scrambling. It's listening. You're learning to discern timing rather than force outcomes. And that skill will protect you more than you realize. This is why certain doors didn't open yet. This is why some conversations didn't happen. This is why some people went quiet. God wasn't withholding from you. He was shielding you, containing you, allowing things to settle before expansion. Expansion without grounding leads to collapse, and God is too intentional to let that happen to you. You didn't miss anything at Christmas. You didn't fall behind. You didn't fail to receive. You received exactly what you needed for the stage you're entering. You received clarity without pressure, peace without passivity, strength without hardness. That combination is rare. The breakthrough that began at Christmas is not about instant manifestation. It's about sustained transformation. It's about becoming someone who can move forward without losing themselves in the process. You are no longer trying to prove your faith. You're living it. You're no longer trying to convince God. You're trusting Him. You're no longer asking when with panic. You're asking with patience. That shift alone signals readiness. God is not preparing to overwhelm you. He's preparing to entrust you. And trust comes after refinement. So if things feel slow, don't mistake that for stagnation. Slowness is where precision forms. It's where details align. It's where mistakes are avoided before they happen. Christmas was the moment your foundation finished settling. And now, what's built on top of it will stand. You don't need to chase confirmation. You don't need to manufacture excitement. You don't need to compare timelines. Your path is unfolding in sequence, not delay. This is not the season of sudden noise. This is the season of quiet momentum. And quiet momentum is dangerous to opposition because it doesn't announce itself. It simply advances. What started at Christmas will not require you to burn yourself out to maintain it. It will not demand constant effort to sustain it. It will grow naturally because it's rooted correctly. You may not see the full picture yet, but you will soon recognize the results. Not all at once, not dramatically, but steadily, clearly, irreversibly. And one day, you'll look back and realize that the moment you thought nothing happened was actually the moment everything began to change. Christmas was not the end, it was the beginning. And this beginning is built to last. Chosen one, what began quietly will not remain hidden forever. The seed that was placed within you at Christmas is already responding to light, water, and time. And just like every living thing God creates, growth is happening whether you feel it or not. The reason you are not meant to rush this phase is because the next movement of your life will require roots deeper than applause can provide. Right now, God is teaching you how to recognize movement without noise. In the past, you relied on emotional confirmation to know something was working. If you felt excited, hopeful, energized, you believed God was near. If things felt dull or slow, you assumed delay. But that mindset belonged to an earlier version of you. This season is teaching you discernment over sensation. The breakthrough that started at Christmas is teaching you how to walk by knowing instead of feeling. That's why you can sense something unfolding even when nothing visible has changed yet. You are no longer dependent on constant signs. You're learning to trust alignment. And alignment changes how you wait. You are not waiting the way you used to. There is less panic in your prayers, less urgency in your questions, less striving in your actions. You still desire growth, but you're not grasping for it. That posture alone tells heaven you are ready for what comes next. Many people misunderstand this phase because it looks like nothing. But spiritually, this is one of the most active stages of transformation. God is recalibrating your perception. He's adjusting how you interpret silence. He's strengthening your ability to remain steady when things are not immediately clear. That's because clarity is coming, and when it arrives, you will need composure to handle it. The truth is, some of what God is preparing will change how others see you. Not because you become arrogant or distant, but because you become grounded. Grounded people intimidate unstable systems. Your peace will unsettle those who benefited from your confusion. Your boundaries will confuse those who relied on your availability. Your discernment will disrupt those who expected easy access. This is why God began this breakthrough quietly. Loud beginnings attract unnecessary interference. Quiet ones mature in safety. You might notice that you're less reactive now. Things that used to pull strong emotional responses from you feel distant. Not because you stopped caring, but because you stopped internalizing everything. You're learning the difference between empathy and entanglement. That distinction is protection. And protection is essential for what's coming. God is not preparing you for a moment. He's preparing you for consistency. He's preparing you for a level of responsibility that doesn't collapse under pressure or praise. This next phase of your life will require discernment in conversations, wisdom in decisions, restraint in reactions, and humility in growth. You couldn't enter this phase emotionally raw. That's why healing accelerated quietly. That's why clarity came without announcement. That's why Christmas didn't feel like a climax. It was a stabilization point. You are now able to hold joy and seriousness at the same time, hope and realism, faith and patience. That balance is rare and it's powerful. This is also why certain people may feel slightly out of sync with you now, not because anyone did something wrong, but because growth shifts frequency. Some connections were built around who you were while surviving. As you move into alignment, those dynamics naturally change. This doesn't mean isolation. It means refinement. God is making room for relationships that can meet you where you're going, not where you've been. And He's teaching you not to cling to familiarity when it conflicts with purpose. Another sign that your breakthrough is unfolding is the way your intuition is sharpening. You're sensing things earlier, recognizing misalignment faster, feeling peace or resistance before logic catches up. This is not anxiety. This is discernment strengthening. Discernment is one of the most valuable tools in a chosen one's life, and it only develops through stillness and obedience. Christmas opened the door to that stillness. You may also feel an internal pull toward structure, toward routines, toward discipline, toward protecting your time and energy. That's not boredom or loss of passion, that's preparation. God is aligning your daily habits with the future He's leading you into. Breakthroughs that last are supported by systems, not emotions. This is the season where small decisions matter more than big declarations, where consistency outweighs intensity, where showing up quietly does more than speaking loudly. And the beautiful part is, you're no longer resisting that truth. You're embracing it. What's coming will not require you to become someone else. It will require you to be more fully who you already are. That's why the change feels internal first. Identity precedes assignment. God is also teaching you how to let go without bitterness, how to move forward without resentment, how to honor the past without being anchored to it. That emotional freedom will protect your future more than you know. You're learning that closure doesn't always come through conversation. Sometimes it comes through clarity, and clarity has already begun. The reason this breakthrough didn't end on Christmas is because it wasn't meant to be seasonal. It's meant to be progressive. Each step building on the last, each layer strengthening the next. Soon, you'll notice doors opening that feel natural, not forced. Opportunities aligning without pressure. Conversations flowing without manipulation. These are signs of alignment taking form, and when momentum builds, it will feel steady, not chaotic. You won't have to convince yourself that it's God. You'll recognize it by the peace that accompanies it. Peace that doesn't erase challenge but stabilizes you within it. You're stepping into a phase where obedience feels less like sacrifice and more like wisdom, where faith feels less like risk and more like trust, where patience feels less like waiting and more like positioning. This is growth. Christmas was the point where you stopped trying to outrun the process and started walking with it. And walking with God always leads to sustainability. What began then will continue unfolding now. And as it does, you'll realize that the timing was never late. It was precise. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are not stuck. You are becoming. And this becoming is steady, protected, and intentional. So don't rush the next step. Don't question the quiet. Don't underestimate the power of what started in stillness. Because what God starts in silence, He completes with strength. And this strength will carry you exactly where you're meant to go.